We are still talking about ways we can cut down on our food consumption and grocery shopping expenses. More talk on food. I haven't said it yet, but if you're looking to join the Maniac tier in regards to the food and grocery expenses, you should aim to cut down your normal grocery expense down to one third. What you spend now, cut it into a third, send it. That should be your goal. If you want to cut it down to, a great tier, you could go to one half. You could cut it down to 50%. And if you cut it down to three-fourths, still rocking three-fourths of what you usually do, you'd be in the normal tier. That's a good normal approach to getting out of debt. If I were you, I'd aim for the one third because with the right amount of discipline, it is absolutely doable. Let's talk about eating habits. To begin, you don't have to have meat in every meal, which will ultimately save on costs. Some high protein alternatives that are cheaper than meat are beans, lentils, eggs, chickpeas, quinoa, green peas, and I'd say nuts, but you have to be careful. Nuts can be, sometimes they're good in protein, sometimes they're good in fats, but nuts can be insanely expensive. It'd have to be the right kind. Personally, my cheap protein substitute is tuna. Can't go wrong with a can of tuna. It's usually costs around $1. Next, obviously, you got to eat leftovers for lunch. That's a no-brainer. Stop tossing out those leftovers. Repurpose those into meals that are benefit your wallet and your stomach. Meal prepping. Meal prepping is a great option to stay on track, especially utilizing frozen meal prepping. Those frozen meal prepping plans, meals that you can cook up, then freeze and unfreeze throughout the week as you're going to eat them. This helps the food to last longer and ensures that you are utilizing all the food from your grocery list. Plus, other non-monetary benefits that are coming from meal prepping is it saves time. Your time bunching, that's always a good thing in my mind. And it helps you to eat out less. No need to go out for your lunch break when you have a fully fleshed out meal ready for you right there in your freezer in the palm of your hand. So some food types to consider. Water is going to be your best friend, your new bestie. Invest in a refillable water bottle. I did not tell you to get a Hydro Flask. Any non-brand name water bottle will do the trick. You're going to be a water buffalo after this. Forget the soda, forget the juice, and I'll say it, forget the alcohol. You want to hit that maniac tier? Water only. Here on out, water only. That's it. Water is the only thing you need to survive, and it'll be the only thing you'll be drinking as you move forward on your debt journey. Carbs are your friend. It's a good friend. Carbs are full of items that you can last. They can last for a really long time, and they'll keep you full. Oatmeal, bag of rice, pancake mix, pasta, potatoes. Those are things that are going to last you. And when you buy meat, switching gears a little bit, when you buy meat, be sure to freeze it. Make it stretch over a longer period of time. You don't need to buy it and finish all of your meat in one day. It's so tempting. Buy a bag of chicken breasts and just cook them all and just pound them out. You can make those last a little longer. Eggs, underrated. You can whip up just about any recipe with an egg, and they're what, $2 for an 18 count, maybe? Eggs are the way to go. Potatoes are a cheap and versatile solution. Breakfast, hash browns, lunch, you can cut them up into French fries. Dinner, mashed potatoes. You can utilize potatoes in a lot of different ways, and they go pretty cheap. Those russet potatoes are a few pennies on the dollar, like what, 49 cents, 89 cents? No alcohol. Did I mention no alcohol? No alcohol. It's too expensive. It's not worth it. Give it up. Miscellaneous tips are consider growing your own food. I know this isn't for everybody, but you should consider it. Make your own garden, grow your own tomatoes, bell peppers, and cauliflower, rosemary, cilantro, parsley, etc. Then you won't have to hit the grocery store. You can just hit your garden in your backyard, or maybe it's on your windowsill. I know this isn't applicable to everyone, as I just said, but it's worth mentioning. Maybe you got the green thumb and you're just like, wow, maybe I should do a garden. It would save some dough. I'll be leaving a resource to a handful of websites that'll help you come up with recipes based on what ingredients you have. This is important because if you're trying to cut down on your budget, maybe it's the end of the month and you have this pantry full of miscellaneous foods, you can utilize these websites, plug in what you have, and it'll say, this is what you can make, which is really good for saving money. Last miscellaneous tip is that I can offer is to consider altering your diet. For liability reasons, I am not telling you to eat less, but I would like to say that NPR.org says that more than 80% of Americans fail to eat the recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables, and a little over 36% of Americans are obese. So, not to say that you are or that you don't eat fruits and veggies, but this could be an opportunity to cut down on calories, costs, and become healthier. I don't think you should see this like this is a sacrifice monetarily, but it doesn't have to be a sacrifice on your health. It could actually be a very beneficial thing. So, some concluding thoughts are that cutting your grocery expenses is 100% doable if you do your due diligence. You're 100% able to maintain a healthy diet and cut your grocery expenses if you're willing to put the work in, write the list, calculate things out, and be sure to use everything that you got. Remember to purchase food that you can make stretch and that will fill you up meal to meal. Remember, we're not doing snacks anymore, so you just lay out those meals and make sure they're filling enough to get you to the next meal. And choose which tier you'd like to fall under: maniac, great, or normal. Go from there. Choose it and go for it. Next, we're going to do a live demo of online grocery shopping so you can see how we can fill our cart with foods that are cheap but still good for the long term and sustainable. So I'll see you there.